Good evening, everyone. It's Zilla, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about two depressions in the Caribbean and the Atlantic Ocean, and those are two possibly becoming hurricanes. Before I do get started with the video, I do ask that you do hit that red subscribe button down below, hit that notification bell icon. We are on the road to 40 subscribers. I want to thank you guys so much for 35 subscribers in 2 weeks. Just crazy. Let's see if we can get this video up to 5 likes. I do want to know, what tropical depression do you think will be turning into a hurricane, and for what reason? And how strong will it be? So here is that NOAA's kind of where everything is. So here's Tropical Depression 13, 14, and then a brand new wave coming off of Africa. This was actually started to be forecasted while it was still on the coast of Africa. So we definitely need to be keeping our eyes on this, as something could very possibly form. And then here is 13, which is probably going to become a tropical storm tomorrow, and possibly 14 as well, but it will be heading towards the Mexican Peninsula. So here is NOAA's key messages. We're going to start off with number 1 on the left side. So Tropical Depression 14 is expected to strengthen over the northwestern Caribbean Sea through Saturday, and it could produce tropical storm force winds and heavy rainfall over portions of the coast of Honduras and Bay Islands beginning tonight through Friday. The system could be near or at hurricane strength when it reaches the Yucatan Peninsula or Mexico late Saturday, and watches could be required for a portion of that area later today. The system is expected to move into a south-central Gulf of Mexico as a tropical storm on Sunday. Some strengthening is anticipated while it moves northwestward over the western Gulf of Mexico early next week, but it is way too early to see or to know exactly how strong it will get or the location and magnitude of impacts it will produce along the central or northwestern Gulf Coast. Interest in that area should continue to monitor this progress of the system over the next few days. So it's basically saying, hey, we don't know what's going to quite happen yet. It's still a little too far out, but if you are on the Yucatan Peninsula, you need to start preparing for possibly a tropical storm to kind of hit that area. So here are the tropical storm force winds probabilities, and you can see right here, this is where the main area is going to be at 60 to 70% chance of tropical storm force winds, and then right as it kind of reaches that coast of the Yucatan Peninsula right here, looking to be at around 40 to 50% chance, and then right after it kind of passes that, it does have that kind of longer area of 30 to 40% chances of tropical storm force winds, and it does looks like it as it reaches the United States, looks like down to 5 to 10% chance of some tropical storm force winds. Here is the arrival time of the tropical storm force winds. So looks like Honduras, the very far edges of Honduras, you could be seeing those tropical storm force winds tonight. And then on Friday, the main kind of off the main central part of Honduras, you could be seeing winds at Friday at 8 a.m. and then on the peninsula Saturday 8 a.m. and then it does have it going over water, and then possibly Texas and Louisiana around Monday at around 8 a.m. Here is the cones. You can see we do have tropical storm watches right now for Honduras right now. It will become a tropical storm. It is expected to actually, and then kind of going right over that peninsula, and then it possibly kind of heading north towards Texas. So here is the wind field. So there are no sustained winds at this time, but you can see here is where it was named a tropical depression right here, and then you can see we do have these warnings right here. So we definitely need to be watching that in Honduras. If anyone's watching from Honduras, make sure to be taking shelter and to be getting all the preparations while you can. So here is the model track guidance. So most of the models are very consistent with it kind of turning right here. Then some of them have it turning left, some kind of going right up the middle, and one model here has it kind of turning to the right, and so does the CEMI model. I'll show you guys my forecast here in a little bit, but I just think the models are way too inconsistent to kind of determine anything. So we'll have to wait for the time to kind of get closer to where what could be happening, but it looks like it will be turning right and possibly reaching Honduras in the next 48 to 72 hours. Here is the intensity guidance. Thank you to Tropical Tidbits for supporting this. You can see tropical storm possibility in the next 12 to 24 hours. That was expected with this, as it did reach tropical depression status, and then some models have it kind of going up all the way into a Category 2 hurricane. I don't think that's going to happen. I do think we'll be seeing just a tropical storm, maybe possibly a Category 1 hurricane at the max. But I'll show you guys my forecast, explain everything. Here's getting to the satellite image. You can see we do have some areas of convection right here, and then up here, Convection is kind of starting to fall apart. We do have some areas trying to form right down here, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that, which convection is thunderstorms in the clouds, and cloud tops are currently, with this storm, are very consistent with about -70 on the scale. Here is the water vapor. You can see right here is another area of convection that we need to be keeping out for. Something looks like it's trying to form down here just a little bit, and then we have an area that could be trying to form somewhere up here, mainly right in here. So we'll definitely keep keeping our eyes on this. And then here is the current stats for Tropical Depression 14. You can see current pressure is at 1,007 millibars. Its max is saying when these winds need to be withheld in order for this to count at 30 knots or at 35 miles per hour. Current location is at 15.4 north, 80 degrees west on a latitude and longitude scale, and its current movement is west at 16 knots or at 18 miles per hour. Now here's my forecast. I do have it just becoming a tropical storm with its peak being at 60 to 63 miles per hour. It does hit the Texas-Louisiana border, but I do have it reaching tropical storm status right before it does hit the Yucatan Peninsula. And then you can see in the top right corner right here, I do have the winds that are required to kind of to meet hurricane status, tropical storm status, stuff like that. So now we're going to kind of switch focuses here to Tropical Depression 13, which is expected to become a hurricane. So we'll have to keep reading these key messages. You can see tropical storm conditions are possible across portions of the northern Leeward Islands, the Virgin Islands, and the Puerto Rico Friday night and Saturday, and tropical storm watches have been issued for some of these islands. Heavy rainfall is likely to be across this area beginning late Friday and could cause mudslides and flash and urban flooding through Sunday. So, nothing new with these tropical depressions, tropical storms, flooding, mudslides with these areas. So if you are in the Leeward Islands, please, be prepared. Don't underestimate this. You don't want to lose your life because of flooding because you weren't prepared. And then the details of number 2 here are the details of the long-range track and intensity forecasts are more uncertain than usual since the system could move over portions of the greater Antilles this weekend. However, this system could bring some storm surge rainfall and wind impacts to portions of Hispaniola, Cuba, the Bahamas, and Florida this weekend and early next week. Interest there should monitor the system's progress and updates to the forecast over these next few days. So, if you're in this area, Leeward Islands, Puerto Rico, Bahamas, Cuba, you need to be keeping an eye on this as, anything is possible at this point. Now here's a tropical storm force winds probabilities. You can see right as it is kind of hidden just south of the Bahamas, it will reach its peak. It looks like around 40 to 50% chance, and then it does have it with this very long track of yellow, around 30 to 40% chance, and then right as it kind of reaches Florida, drop down to 5, down to 20% chance of it reaching tropical storm force wind probabilities. You can see here's the cone. You can see it will be reaching a hurricane status right before Miami, Florida, but it'll be reaching a tropical storm around 2 p.m. Friday, and then you can see we do have tropical storm watches for Puerto Rico, Leeward Islands, but here's the thing, we do have some dry air over Puerto Rico right now, so we'll have to see if that little small pocket does kind of create some challenges for this storm. And then here are the arrival times of these tropical storm force winds. Dominican Republic, you'll be receiving these winds Saturday at 8 p.m. Northern Leeward Islands 8 p.m. on Friday. Cuba Sunday 8 p.m. and then Florida reaching those winds Monday at around 8 a.m. and then possibly Alabama and Georgia reaching those winds on Monday at around 8 p.m. Now here are the model guidances. So you can see most of these models are very consistent with it kind of going into the Miami and then turning right towards the Alabama and Georgia border. I will show you guys my forecast, but I just want you, it is very similar to this. But it's still a couple days out, so anything is possible. And here's another kind of model here. You can see most of the models here do support it kind of hitting the southern tip of Florida and then it turning right back out into the Atlantic Ocean. So here is some satellite imagery. You can see convection a little bit right here, but there's not a lot on it right now. So it's very interesting. Like to see what kind of happens here if the convection will kind of keep up. Convection right now looking at around -70 on the cloud tops and thunderstorms. And then here on the water vapor, you can kind of see some areas trying to form right out here a little bit on the kind of the western side of it. So we'll have to see if that area does continue to kind of develop. And then here is the model intensity guidance. Most of the models do have it becoming a Category 1 hurricane and possibly a tropical storm. The CT C2 model does have it reaching a Category 3 hurricane, which is definitely interesting. In my opinion, I don't think that's going to happen at all. I think what's going to happen is there is a possibility of it stalling due to the kind of Gulf winds. That's kind of why Tampa doesn't really get any hurricanes. It kind of like pushes it out away. And then here's the current stats for Tropical Depression 13. Its current pressure is at 1,008 millibars, so very, very similar to Tropical Depression 14. Same as the winds, max sustained winds at 30 knots or at 35 miles per hour. Its current location on the latitude and longitude scale is at 16.7 north, 53.9 west, and its current movement is moving northwest, west-northwest at 18 knots or at 21 miles per hour. So here's my forecast. I do have it reaching a tropical storm at around just south of Puerto Rico or just north, and then reaching Category 1 status right next to kind of Florida. And then here again, I do have those winds up here for you guys to see. And then I do have it kind of falling apart once it reaches inland of Florida at around 70 to 73 miles per hour, so just shy of a Category 1 hurricane. So here is a picture of the sea surface temperatures. You can see with this little pocket here, I'm going to get brighter colors. See very warm waters right here. It is sitting at around 30 degrees Celsius right here. So very, very warm waters. And then behind it, remember how we had that tropical wave coming off of Africa? It's got some very warm waters to work with here. We'll have to keep an eye on with the shear. What the shear is going to be looking like with this for that tropical wave to kind of form. It isn't supposed to form in the next 5 days. Very low chance. I think it's like low 20% chance of it forming in the next 5 days. And here is the wind shear map. So Tropical Depression 14. It has an area to kind of fight off with this shear. Tropical Depression 13 sitting kind of right here. Doesn't have much wind shear at all, so that will provide it to kind of intensify. You can see right here there is kind of heavy area of shear. That's where I do kind of have it falling apart right around here, with falling apart from a hurricane into a tropical storm. But other than that, there is shear for that tropical depression to kind of start to fight off. So I'll have to see what happens here. And then here is another picture of kind of the sea surface temperatures. You can see warm waters here. Let me get a brighter color. Man, I'm so bad at getting the bright colors. You can see kind of warm waters right here, a little bit of cooler waters, but that's just due to the fact that we have had 2 tropical waves coming off the coast. And then here is the atmospheric moisture in the air, so you can see very moist water right here, moist conditions. See, there is that area of dry air that I was talking about, actually over the Dominican Republic now, I'm sorry, not Puerto Rico, but a little bit of area right here, so we'll have to see, if Tropical Depression 13, will it go over the Dominican Republic, and how much will that little area of dry air really kind of affect this tropical storm. And then here is a tropical intensity guidance. You can see very favorable conditions for intensification right here. And right here, Tropical Depression 14 has very favorable conditions for it to kind of form. But once it goes kind of into the Gulf, not very favorable conditions, but something to keep an eye on. You know how they're saying it's supposed to kind of reach the Texas, Louisiana Gulf, or coast, I mean. There is highly favorable conditions for something to kind of intensify there. So we very well could have a very strong tropical storm kind of hit that area. Well, that's going to do it for the video, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that red subscribe button down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.